And I'm going to have us start sitting in a Baddha Konasana shape, which is not a typical way to start, but just hear me out. If you have blocks, have them handy, and I'll actually face this direction. Now, if you're finding just sitting upright is creating kind of a dropping or a backward tilt in the pelvis, I would recommend putting something under your hips, like a blanket or a cushion, so that the pelvis is a little more elevated. And then if you need that, take a second to get there. And then let's everybody put the hands behind you and press the hands down as you sit up tall. And just attempt to have normal curvature in the lumbar spine. Without going anywhere, press the hands down and try to press them slightly back so the chest hinges a little bit forward. Yeah. It does not matter for the moment if your legs are really high or if they're lower, just wherever you are is fine. And then we'll back off. If you have a block, we'll take a slightly different version of this. You'll put the block on the lowest level, set your feet up on the block, and have that bony, that sticky outy bit on the ankle, let that not be on the block. Yeah, so that's off the block. Hands will press down, and for this one, lift the pelvis, scooch forward any amount, and then come back down, and that should change what you're feeling. Again, press down through the hands, sit up tall, broaden your collarbones, and we're going to keep the hands down. You can either stay just upright in your spine, or you can hinge a little forward. Oh, if you like that, that's a bit much for me for the moment. Yeah. You don't typically start right from the get-go with this one, but we'll be doing some stuff for the inner thighs. It doesn't hurt to start with a little stretch. So let's undo your situation. Just reset to any comfortable position. And then once you're settled, create a little bit of movement, anything you like, anywhere in your body. And then very gradually let the movement settle in such a way that you are just as centered as can be. If it feels okay to close your eyes, do that. And create just a slight lift up through the base of your skull, back of the head. Let the jaw release, let the face relax and all the muscles in your face. And give yourself this time just to arrive to your practice. How does it feel to be you this very moment? And what do you hope to receive from your practice today? With that in mind, we'll take hands to heart center. You can either vocalize with me, sing an out loud Om, or maybe just a silent one, or maybe just listen. Take a sweet breath in. And allow your head to bow down, let the spine round, your eyes can blink open. Release the hands to the legs. And then just give yourself a little bit of movement. Anything is fine, just like we did before. I'm going to let somebody in, so bear with me. Great. And then from here, let the movement settle down. And let's take the arms just up overhead, interlace your fingers, press up through the palms of the hands, and then we'll side bend over to the right. Yeah, and then come up, side bend over to the left. Let's come back to center, change the way your fingers are interlaced, press up again, and then before we go over to the right this time, see if you can create length as you're going. So we come up and try not to collapse the right side. I'll show you how it would look if you collapse, yeah? So see if you can maintain the length even though the right side is shortening. And then let's come up, and same thing, over to the left and create length even though the left side is shortening. All right, and then bring yourself back up to the center. Undo your hands and give the wrists some circles. And we'll bring the fingertips onto the front of the shoulders and give the shoulders a few circles. Great. All right, and then from here, friends, let's undo the legs to stretch out the legs, and now we'll give the ankles some circles. Yeah, mine always make crunchy noises every time I move them around. Let's go the other direction. Yeah. All right, friends. So from here, let's reset. We'll come to your all fours position, finding your hands and knees. And we'll be here for a bit. Feel free to have some kind of cushion under your knees if you need that. And allow your spine to go from one side to the other. And I'll recommend, at least at first, going kind of slowly with the movement. Yeah, and then pause next time you're on one side. From there, round your back up into cat pose. And then go over to side two and down into your cow pose. So going all the way around. You can experiment with the speed if you like, with the size if you like. Let's change the direction. Go a couple times the other way. And then from here, let the movement start to settle. Take your knees a little bit wider than you normally do and go back to child's pose with the arms forward. Press the mat down and also press it a little forward so the hips can go back. And if it feels okay to shift from side to side, take that a little bit. And then we'll pause. Keep the knees this wide. Bring yourself back up to all fours. Take your hands slightly forward and a little more towards the midline. We'll turn open to the right side, lifting the arm, and then scoop the arm underneath the left for a thread the needle. Let's take a few times more on the same side. So the inhale, we turn up, and the exhale, we'll turn down, finding that little scoop. Let's take it one more time up. And now the next time we come down, we'll stay. Resting on the side of the arm, the side of the head. If your head doesn't touch the floor easily, put something under the side of the head so that you don't need to hold the head up with your neck. We want the neck to be able to relax. And then in this position, can you, on the left hand, that's the forward hand, kind of rotate the fingers in towards the midline. Press that hand into the floor and press the front of the shoulder away from the floor. That's on the front arm. Now the arm that's scooped under, the right one, can you press the back of the arm towards the floor? Yeah, you feel that? All right, I know it's a big pretzel. To get out, let's reset. Point the left fingers forward. Out you come back to center. Let's keep the knees wide and just do a few cat-cows through the middle. Two sides might feel kind of lopsided after we just did the one. And we'll pause here right in the center. Bring both hands a little bit forward and more towards the midline. And then we'll go second side. So lift the left arm and then scoop it underneath. You can bend the right elbow when you do that. And take it a few more times. So the inhale is up and exhale is down. And just a couple more rounds here. Now we'll take the pause. When you are under there, we'll stay resting on the side of the shoulder, side of the head, or on a block. Take the front hand and spin so the fingers face the midline of the mat. Press down with the hand and press the front of the shoulder away from the floor. I'll just say that again. So the hand presses down, the front of the shoulder presses away from the floor. Now on the down arm, the left arm, press the back of the arm downward towards the floor. Yeah. This is not the only way to do this pose, just for today. Let's reset, right fingers point forward, undo, coming back to center, and then reset so your knees are just in line with the hips. Let's take a few more cat-cows straight through the middle. Great. And then let's take a little break. Go back to child's pose and take spider fingers in your hands. Try to give the mat a little squeeze with your fingers so that the wrists and the palms of the hands lift. Yes, exactly right. Okay, and then we'll reset, coming back to our all fours position. Broaden the collarbones. Lift the belly. Now, this will be a tiny movement at first. Shift forward slightly. And then when you bend the elbows, try not to let the elbows go back. Instead, let your shoulders come forward and then re-lengthen. Do that a few times. So there's a little shift forward as you bend. Yeah. And then I remember, I think, Michelle, you have some wrist stuff going on. You could skip this one if it's feeling not so good on the wrists. Yeah. Okay. And then let's everybody go back to child's pose. Toes tuck under for this one. Spider fingers in the hands. Yeah. And then we'll give our hands a little break. If it feels okay, walk the hands closer to the knees and come up to sit on the heels. If that doesn't feel so good, just do a partial, so you don't have to come up all the way. And if you are all the way up and it's no big deal, lean back a little bit and that'll squash the toes more. Yeah, you feel that? Then we're gonna make it, I don't wanna say worse, just different. Scooch the knees back so you're more hinged right at the ball of the foot, and then press the heels back straight to the back of the mat. Yeah, good, good. All right, friends, let's get out of this. Undo the feet, give the toes a little shake. And then let's stretch the right leg back with the toes tucked under and just give yourself a little bit of movement, a little back and forth. And we'll hold the movement still. Keep the leg back. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? And then without losing the lift in the belly, lift the right leg up off the floor. Then if it feels okay, stretch the left arm out as well. If that doesn't work, just forget about the arm. We'll bend the knee, bend the elbow. Take the elbow to the left, the knee to the right. Keep the lift through the belly. And then put the left hand to the floor, kick the right leg out to the side and step the foot down. It's off the mat. Exactly, yes, and let the heel come down too. And now we'll do cat-cow with the legs in this kind of asymmetrical position. And you'll likely get a nice juicy stretch on the right inner thigh. Yeah. Good. Okay, pause here. On the left leg, the bent knee side, tuck the toes under and then shift yourself back a little bit more. If that doesn't feel so good on the knee, just stay forward. Yeah, and then we'll come back up to the center. Left toes can do whatever you want. Walk the arms over to the right so that the right thigh gets a different kind of stretch. Yeah, keep the right leg straight and you don't have to go over very far to feel it. Yes, okay, that's that. Let's come back to center, reset, right knee comes down. Back to child's pose, you decide toes tucked or flat, whatever you want. And then one more time, spider fingers in the hands. All right, only one more thing on your hands for the moment. Let's return to your all fours. Stretch left leg back, give the leg a little back and forth a couple of times. That's it, pause. Broaden the collarbones, lift the low belly, and then lift the leg without drooping in the belly. That's it. If you'd like to also stretch the right arm forward, add that in. If not, just do the leg only. Okay. And then from here, we'll bend the knee, take it wide, bend the elbow, take it wide. Down comes the hand, kick the left leg out to the side, step the foot down, left leg stays straight. And then let's cat-cow in this position with the left leg wide, which will give you a little bonus inner thigh stretch. And then we'll pause, tuck the right toes under, shift back if that worked for you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. For another moment. And then coming back to center, walk the arms over to the left. Doesn't have to go too far towards the foot. Yeah. Wow. All right, friends, enough is enough. Let's come out of that one. Reset yourself back to your all fours, and then we'll come forward and down now onto the belly. The arms a break. Fold your hands and rest the forehead down on your hands. I'm going to keep my head up just so that I can talk to you. One leg at a time, scooch back and down to clear some space in the front of the hips. And then from here, yogis, use the inner thighs to lift the legs. And when we do it that way, they won't lift too high. Exactly. Draw back through the toes, and the inner thighs are lifting. And then relax that, come back down. Let's do 2 more times. Lift the legs from the inner thighs. And down. Now, if it feels right, if it feels natural to also lift the upper body a little bit, go ahead and do. If that doesn't feel so good, though, just keep the legs only. Great. And then the next time we're in the up position, we'll stay. Let's prop on the arms, send the hands slightly forward and the elbows slightly in, but you're not propped up all the way. It's just still kind of mild. Press the forearms into the floor and try to drag the arms back and drag the rib cage forward. It'll lift a little, but go more forward than up. Yeah, and then everything comes down. Let's re-rest the head. Bend your knees so the feet are in the ceiling, and then go side to side with the legs. Little windshield wipers. Right, left. Great. And then from here, friends, let's put the legs back down. Make your way into downward facing dog. And from the down dog, just give yourself a moment for anything, any kind of movement, any kind of shift. Move the spine, you can move the pelvis, the knees, whatever feels good. And then from here, the movement will settle it down, and let's meet in a standing forward fold. You get there any way you like. And from the position, bend the knees. Before you come up to stand, press wide through the upper thighs. Tone the belly, hands come to the hips, and hinge your way up to center for this first one. Yeah, all right, we made it to stand. Let's take a little circle, just a little hula hoop to celebrate. And then we'll go the other direction. Yeah. All right, so we'll take some side bends like we did sitting. Just from your position, let's stand with the feet a little wider than you normally stand. Bring your arms up overhead, and let's hold on to the left forearm, pull up and over to the right, and just go the way you normally would do this. And up we come. Changing sides, pull up and over to the left. Yeah. And back to center. So we'll go to the first side again. And just like we did sitting, as you come over, lengthen. And then as you come over to the right side, try not to collapse. Yeah, see if you can lift to go over. And then up. Slightly different quality to it. And then other side, lift to go over, no collapse. Gorgeous. Come back up to the center. Release the arms and reset so the feet are just right underneath you. Yeah, all right. From your position here, let's bend the knees a little bit. Bring the hips back, but don't go too deep. It's a chair pose. And we'll take hands to heart center. Press the hands into each other, and that'll help tone up through the core. Shift a little forward so the heels leave the floor. Bring the ankles in a little bit. Yep. And then put the heels down and lift the toes off the floor. Spread out wide. And let's shift again. Forward, toes go down, heels come up. And then back, heels come down, toes come up. Yes. Relax the toes. On the inhale, stretch the legs, stretch the arms. And on the exhale, just lower the arms down. Great. So if you have blocks, set them up at the front of the mat. You may or may not want them. And then if you need a blanket for your knee for lunges, go ahead and just have that ready. All right, so we'll start at the front of the mat, mountain pose. Root down through the soles of the feet. Inhale, up we come, arms to the sky. Exhale, down we go, forward fold, Uttanasana. Come up halfway, lengthen. And then lower down, let's step the right leg back for lunge. Put the knee on the floor. And then if it's okay for you to have the toes pointing straight back, do that. If that doesn't work for you, you can keep the toes tucked under. But from this position with the arms down, those of you who have the toes straight back, press down through the shin and everybody try to drag the right leg forward and the left leg back. So it's kind of a scissor action. Yeah, and then back off of that. We'll do it again upright. So bring the hands onto the hips. One more time, press the shin. Try to press the center of the shin down. Counter that by lifting up through the belly. And then the back leg tries to drag forward. The front leg tries to drag back. Let's send the arms up so the legs are really active. Can you lengthen so the rib cage lifts off the pelvis? Now let the legs relax a little bit as you come back down, hands to the floor or blocks. Back toes, if you feel better tucking them, that's fine. Let's go back and forth a few times just to stretch out the left leg. Any rendition of this is fine. If you wanted to just hold with the hips back, you could do that too. Yeah, and then we'll change our position a little bit. So let's keep the front knee bent. Walk the arms to the inside of the front foot and then scooch the left foot a little bit wider on your mat. The front foot. Yeah, great. And then, so this is kind of a variation of lizard pose. Let's draw a very small circle, like there's a crayon in your navel. You could draw a circle on your mat, a little bit. And then go the other direction. And now with the arms to the inside of the leg, we'll do the same back and forth motion. So let's inhale. As you exhale, shift the hips back and go straighter in the front leg. And on the inhale, shift forward again. Great, couple more times just like that. Now we'll add on, when the front knee is bent, pause. I'm gonna have my back to you for a second. Right foot will scooch a little to the left, so you kind of turn the torso a little to the right. Let's take the right hand to the hip, and then start to turn open here. Press the left arm into the left leg, and here we are in a variation of side angle. Now, if you're feeling a little squashed or crunched, go up forearm to thigh instead. That'll give you a little more space. And then let's take the right arm and just reach it overhead on the diagonal. Now everybody, notice what the left side is doing. We don't want to collapse the left side, so see if you can lengthen the left side, the underside. And then look at the floor, release the arm. Reset the back leg so the toes are back. Tuck the toes under, lift the back knee. And now we're in a variation, another variation of lizard pose. Move the pelvis back, move the chest forward. If you need to be on the blocks, stay on the blocks. If you're okay to ditch the blocks, go onto your fingertips. And then for anybody, if you're on blocks, just bring them with. can you walk the arms forward and towards the right corner of the mat? And it's okay if you go off the mat. If you're on blocks, you can just take them for a little walk, like so, yeah. Now from here, the left arm, can you reach it even more so the left side gets really, really long? Yeah, just keep the hand on the floor, the block, just reach it outward. Yeah, so it'll look like this on the block. Great. Yeah, the left arm. That's your right arm. The left arm, but take the block with you. Exactly. Yeah. All right, have we been here long enough? I think we have. Let's undo. Come back to center, and then step back, go to plank pose. Planky plank. From your plank pose, can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? Yeah, Tila, that's a good plank. Shift forward a little bit. Lower the hips just a little bit. But see if you can do that without collapsing, and you're doing well with that. Yeah. All right, and then everybody, knees come to the floor. Let's come down to the belly. Take a little break here. We'll give the hands a little break too. Stretch the arms back. Wiggle out the fingers. That's it. And then just lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Engage the upper back. And then pull the fingers towards the back of the mat. Turn your palms in to face the legs. You can stay with legs down or you could lift legs up. If you lift the legs, lift from the inner thighs. Yeah. Shalabhasana variation. To get out of this, just come down, turn your face to one side. Relax, maybe add in a little wobble. Great. Okay, friends, let's head back to down dog just for a second, just for a quickie. And then from your down dog, we'll meet in forward fold. You can walk hands back or feet forward or both. Root down to rise up. Inhale, we stand. Exhale, the arms come down. Give a little shake. And then we did kind of a version of this on all fours. We're going to do a standing version, and then later we'll do a plank version. So let's take your arms kind of like a robot arm position. Lift the shoulders for a second, up, back, and when you go down, don't go all the way down, just enough to kind of let this relax. Now take your front ribs, let them drop down, and let the back ribs widen a little bit. Okay, great. And then from here, let the arms come slightly forward and slightly back. Yeah, so it'll look like this. It's not super dramatic standing. It'll be more dramatic when we're in plank. Okay, let that one go, shake it out. When we get to plank, we'll do that later. We got another side though for lunge. So let's come to the front of the mat. Root down through your legs. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthened out. And then down we come, stepping your left leg back, knee on the floor, toes pointing back if that's tolerable for you. Hands can be on the floor or blocks. Now before we come up, let's just practice this action. Back shin presses down and tries to draw forward. Front heel presses down and tries to draw back. That kind of hug in idea. Let it go a little bit. Bring yourself upright. Hands could just go to the hips. And then press the center of the left shin down and try to drag it forward as the front heel drags back. Lift up through the belly. Lift up through the arms. Try to draw the rib cage away from the pelvis. Yeah, like an accordion. Exactly. Tila, turn your palms in. Yeah, exactly. Good. All right. And then down you come. Hands to the floor or to your blocks. Take a few rounds of back and forth. Any rendition is fine, or maybe you hold in the hips back position if you like that one. At this point, if you want to change the back toes, go ahead and do that if you need to. Yeah. And then we'll reset from the front, the right knee bent position. Take arms to the inside. Walk the right foot a little wider so you have some more space. And then let's draw our circle here. Now, Tila, is it possible either right foot a little forward or left leg a little back to make a little more space. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah. And then take, I don't remember if we went both directions. Be sure you go both directions with your circles. And then let's pause, keeping the arms inside of the front leg. Let's inhale. And exhale, shift it back. Taking that a few more times, back and forth we go. Now, just in general, some people find this version more comfortable with the arms to the inside. In the future, if you ever want to do it that way and the teacher doesn't say, just do it anyway. Yeah, if it feels better, do it. All right, guys, let's pause with the front knee bent. Pivot the back foot a little to the right. And then from here, press the right arm into the right leg. Start to turn open, left arm. Let's actually put the hand to the hip for a second. Yeah, so Tila, change arms. That's it. Press the bottom arm into the leg. Now, if anybody's feeling a little compressed and you need more space, take forearm to thigh, and it might be different on the second side. Can you lengthen a little bit the underside, the right side of the waist, and then take the left arm just kind of out on the diagonal? Yeah. And try this. Bend the elbow a little bit. Turn the elbow tip towards me. Not the whole arm, just the elbow. Kind of rotate it. So turn the elbow actually a little down towards the floor. A little more. A little more. Yeah. And then re-lengthen the arm. Let's look down at the floor. Release the arm. Reset the back leg. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee. And then draw back through the pelvis, forward through the chest. Yeah. Here we are in our lizard. Now, if you still want to be on the blocks, that's fine. If you're able to go on your fingertips, do that. And then wherever you are, start to walk the arms forward and to the left. Yeah, so kind of, they'll come off the mat. If you're on the blocks, just curl them along with you. Yeah, that's it. Go more forward than left. Exactly, so you're on the diagonal. And then if it feels all right on the right hand, reach a little extra. Keep the fingers on something, on the floor or on your block. Spider-Man asana. And then to get out of this, let's reset. Hands come back to starting position. Let's go to plank pose. And then just to regroup for a second, just a quickie child's pose. Any version is fine. Now I'm going to invite you to try the next thing on blocks. If you know that that isn't going to work for you, just go without. But let's take the blocks on the medium height, about shoulders width apart, and you'll kind of hold the block like so, one in each hand. And then let's walk the knees back so the shoulders are roughly over the wrists and the knees are further back than the hips. Yeah. Now in this position, can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? In a second, we'll bend the elbows. Try not to let them go wide, but instead let them go back as you shift the chest forward. And we go maybe about a quarter of the way down, and then press and come back up. Yeah, do that a few more times. Gorgeous. As you're lowering down, keep the collarbones wide, and almost imagine that you're trying to not go down, almost like you're trying to press up, but something else is pressing you down. Yeah. All right, one more time. Okay, and then let's go back again. Keep your blocks if you had them, and let the wrists, the hands, the fingers kind of drape over so the edge of the block is right at the wrists. And then you can walk the legs back a little bit. And without moving your blocks, just try to draw the hips and the pelvis back so it creates a little traction. Yeah. Okay. And then to get out of this, let's come back to center, get rid of the blocks. Downward facing dog just for a sec. And then from down dog, we'll meet in standing forward fold. Let's come to the front of the mat, either right away or just get there. And then all the way up we stand. Yay. Okay. Shake out the shoulders and the hands, the wrists, the fingers a little bit. Yeah, that was a lot on the blocks, wasn't it? Yeah. Next version, I don't want you to panic, but maybe we'll do a fancier one. Maybe not, we'll see. All right. So yeah, if you like blocks for lunges, go ahead and reset them. They might have strayed, yeah. And then you decide if your feet can be together, you can keep a little bit of space. Let's take the same chair variation that we did before. Knees bend, hips come back, hands come to prayer. Press the hands to the midline, firm up through the core. Lift the toes off the floor. And then put the toes down, shift forward, and let the heels lift off the floor. Great, let's do one more time going back, lift the toes. One more time coming forward, lift the heels. Stay here, we're gonna add on. Keeping the heels lifted, stretch the legs to straighten, stretch the arms overhead. You can go as wide as you like in the arms. That's it. Now the heels will not touch the floor. Let's bend the knees and lower the heels a little bit, but they're still off the floor. Come back to prayer position. Yeah, knees will stay bent, heels will stay a little lifted. Take the hands to the floor or to your blocks. And slowly lift the hips up. The heels are still a little bit off the floor. And then notice here as you release the heels, the pelvis wants to drift back. Try not to let it drift back. Oh, yeah, eventually let the heels come down. Great, all right. And then let's take our half lift. Hands could stay on where they are or on the shins. Lower yourself down. Let's step the right leg back into your lunge position. Lengthen long through both sides of the waist. Yes. All right, from here, we'll turn the back heel to the floor. Come up into your warrior two position. I'm gonna have my back to you for a second. Yeah, and then if you want, you could turn around so that you can see me. Yeah. All right, so it's left leg is bent, right leg is straight. Hands to the hips for a second, and then lift the left heel just a little bit, and reach from the inner groin to the inner knee. Reach outward towards the front of the mat. And then bring the heel down. And now do the opposite. The outer knee to the outer hip draws towards the back of the mat. Keep that. And whatever it did to your pelvis, keep that. Square up the shoulders, and then we'll stretch the arms wide. Warrior two. You can stay looking at the left hand or looking straight ahead, whatever you like. Okay, Fritz. Now, from here, let's bring hands back to the hips for a second. Tilt the pelvis so the left hip tilts down, the right one tilts up, and then reach the left arm long. Try to touch the wall in front of you. In a second, when we come down, you'll want to collapse, but don't collapse. Let the torso lower a little, but don't lower the arm yet. Yeah, I know, it's horrible. And then from here, yogis, you can either take forearm to thigh, or you might be low enough, you could put a hand to the block or the floor outside of the left leg. Whatever you want to do in the right arm is fine. That's it. Do keep the left thigh pressing outward, like towards the left side of the mat. All right, look down at the floor, release the arm. Turn the back heel up. So we're back in lunge pose. And if it feels good to you to bend and straighten the front knee a couple of times to release, you can. Great. All right, pause with the knee bent. Now in a second, we'll take another version of those little push-ups. Feel free to keep your blocks or ditch your blocks. I'm gonna keep the blocks. Let's step the left leg back into your plank pose. You could keep the legs straight or you could put the knees to the floor, your choice. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? If the legs are straight, press a little forward on your feet, lower a quarter of the way down, slight tiny bend in the elbows, and re-lengthen. Do two more. Whatever version you're doing is fine. Yeah, Tila, I wouldn't go the highest blocks, that's a little unstable. You could lower them a notch, yeah. Good, okay. And then be done. Put the knees down. Take your child's pose. If you like the version with the hands resting over the blocks, take that. If you want something else, take that instead. Add in a little hip wiggle if you need. Yeah. All right, friends, we've got another side. Let's move the blocks out of the way. Go back to your down dog just as a transition. From your down dog, let's head to the front of the mat. And then take a halfway lift. Lower down, press into the floor. Inhale all the way up, we stand. And release, stars. Yay. All right, are we ready for side two? It's a lot with that reach, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty intense. All right, so here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen it out. Lower yourself down, left leg steps back, lunge pose, just get there. Take a second before we do the fancy part. Draw back through the pelvis, forward through the chest, lengthen the side body, and then we'll take the back heel down to the floor. Come up into your warrior two. Yeah, so we're on the second side, yeah, and you're on the second side. You're good, you're good. Yeah, we're just facing different directions, but you're good. Put the hands to the hips, lift the right heel just a little bit, and then from the inner groin to inner knee, reach outward as you bend a little deeper. Set the heel down, and then from outer knee to outer hip, draw back. Yeah, good. Can you take your feet a little wider apart, Tila? Yeah, great. And then square up the chest towards the long end of the mat. Take the arms wide. You can look right or you can look straight ahead, whatever you want. Oh, yeah. All right, now we'll transition. Take the hands to the hips, deepen the hip crease on the right side. Hinge. Stretch the arm forward, and we're not going down. The right arm, the bottom arm. Yeah, come forward, forward, forward. Not with the knee, but from the rib cage, from the shoulder, from the waist, forward towards this direction, Tila. Yeah, great. Lower the torso, but don't lower the arm. Oh my gosh. It's so much, isn't it? Yeah. Now we're coming down, but don't collapse. Lower the arm wherever it lands, either outside of the leg on a prop or forearm to thigh. Yeah. Take the other arm any way you like it. Nice. Now that our arms are down, it's tempting to just kind of collapse, yeah? Don't collapse. Stay alive. Stay awake. Stay alert. Get alert in your body. All right. Look down at the floor. Turn down. Spin the back heel up. Your choice. Blocks or no blocks. We're taking another round of the push-ups. We're going to make it a little more interesting for anybody who wants that. Step the front leg back. Now, if you need to do this on the knees, go ahead and go there and just ignore the next bit. If you're on straight legs and it's no big deal for you, take the feet a little wider. Hands stay put. Drop the heels left. Yeah. Shift forward. Tiny little push-ups. Just like we've been doing. But the legs are in this kind of a side plank position. Yeah, Sheila, you're doing it. Good. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll do the other side later. Come back to center plank, and then just step into forward fold. Or if you have the knees down, make your way somehow to forward fold. And on the inhale, all the way up we come. Exhale, relax arms. You guys. Do you feel strong though? Yeah. Yeah. I'm sweating bullets myself if you wondered. Yeah. So we'll do the other side for our plank push-ups, but let's take a little detour before that. Yeah. This will be a balanced pose. And we're kind of playing with the vestibular system here. So let's let the hands come to prayer. And lift the right leg. And it doesn't have to be a high lift. It could be, but just any which way. And now keeping your face looking forward, turn your eyeballs just slowly to one side. And then to the other side. And then back to center. Stay on the leg. Now turn your head to one side. Oh my goodness. Back to center to the other side. It's hard, isn't it? And then back to center. Last but not least, maybe just for one breath, try it with your eyes closed. Open the eyes. Put the foot down. Oh, relax, yeah. Who knew that just turning your eyes would make such a difference? Let's do the second side. So the left one, you could keep toe on the floor if you want, or you could lift a little or a lot. Let's hug the hands in towards the midline. That helps keep the core engaged, yeah? And then keep your face forward. Turn your eyeballs to one side. And second side. And center. And then turn your face to one side, your whole head. Other side. Center. Maybe just for a breath, try your eyes closed. Open and down. Okay, yeah, just move for a second. All right, you guys, we have time for another set of this kind of long position. She's so excited. So we're going to get into it the same way we did before. Let's come to the front of the mat. Root down through the legs. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down. Forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen it out. And then down you come with the arms. Let's step the right leg back. First find lunge pose. Lengthen the torso. Turn the back heel to the floor. Come up to warrior two. Now in a second we'll go to triangle, but we'll get into it like we did on side angle. Lift the heel for a second, the left heel. And then, yeah, take your time to come up. Yeah, you're good. You'll have your back to me, so just listen. The left heel lifts up. Inner thigh to inner knee reaches forward as you bend a little deeper. Set the heel down. Let the outer knee to outer hip draw back. And now keep that as you press into the left foot. Let the leg start to straighten. Take the back hand to the hip and reach forward but not down. Try to touch the wall with the left arm. Lower the torso a little bit, don't lower the arm. Yeah, press into the back leg. And then lower the arm, hand to the floor to your shin, to a block, any height. Let the torso turn away from the floor, up comes the right arm. You can turn to look up or look down, up to you. Let's everybody turn to look down. Bend the front knee, spin the back heel up. We're back in our lunge pose. And then just to get out of this, change legs. No fanfare. Yeah, good. Now before we do the fancy part, can you lengthen the spine? Yeah, set the stage well. Bring the back heel down to the floor. Up we come into warrior two. Lift the heel a little bit, the right heel. And then as you bend the knee deeper, reach inner groin to inner knee, forward. Put the heel down, outer knee to outer hip draws back. Press into the heel to slowly straighten out the leg as you reach forward. Take the back hand to your hip. Come forward with the right ribs, forward with the right shoulder. Not down, but forward. Let the torso lower a little bit, don't lower the arm. Oh my God, yeah. Okay, down comes the hand to the shin to a block, wherever you are. Spin yourself away from the floor, up comes the left arm. You could keep the hand to the hip if you prefer. Yeah, totally fine. It's called Trikonasana pose. To get out, look at the floor. Bend the front knee, spin the back heel up, you're back in lunge. And then I think I might have skipped this on the first side. If you need a quickie back and forth, do that for a second. I got so excited about the plank push-ups that I forgot this. All right, that being said, you choose whatever version you're doing, blocks or no blocks, bent knees or straight legs. Those of you who are in the straight leg position, if you wanted the sideways one, take the feet wider, drop both heels over to the right, and then just a little like a quarter push-up. Yeah. That's no good. Do a different version, which could be child's pose, yeah. All right, when you're done, back to center. Let's everybody go to child's pose. Knees come down, hips come down. If you like the wrist drape, you can do that or do anything else. Take a little side to side wobble. It's funny, these poses, maybe not the plank push-ups, but the other poses are considered beginner poses, but they're not easy, man. They're not easy. All right, let's come back up to sit. Swing the legs around. Now we did Baddha Konasana in the beginning of class. Let's try again and just see if it feels different. So first, no prop for the feet, but if you need a prop under the hips, go ahead and take that. Lift the pelvis for a second and then come back down so that and try not to rock back on the hips. Let's press the hands into the floor, sit up tall, and then maybe hinge the torso a little forward, but don't go like this. Go more, like reach the heart forward. Yeah, that's good, Tila. Right. And then we'll come back up. If you want to take the block version, we're going to do two different ones. For version 1, you'll set the block up on the lowest height, put the feet up there, and the ankle, the lateral malleolus there, it's off the block. And then you'll lift the pelvis, scooch forward this time, any amount forward that you can be without rocking back. For some of us, that's quite a bit. For some of us, it's not. Yeah, looking good. Let's keep the hands down, press down to lift up. And then if you'd like to hinge forward, press the hands like you're trying to reach them to the back of the mat, but they're glued. And then hinge a little forward there. Great. Anybody finds this easier the second go around? No, oh, I think you missed it, but yeah. Yeah, all right. And then come back up. Now, those of you who have a block, we're only gonna do one of these so you can choose. Any size of block is fine. You put the feet on the outside of the block. I'm just going wide, but you don't have to. If you don't have a block, you'll just take the feet a little wider. Yeah. And then one more time, press the hands down, sit up tall, maybe hinge forward, maybe don't. The wider the feet are, I find the less comfortable it is to hinge forward. You're just upright here. Okay. And then up, bring yourself upright. Use your hands to bring the legs up. Now, if you have the block still, just get rid of it. And then either take your hands like this or your arms like this, whichever you like. Press the legs apart and press the arms in. Yeah, and that should feel nice after the previous pose, just a little reset. And then back off, we'll do it one more time. Press the legs apart, press the arms together. Yeah, great. And then release that. Let's come onto your back and we'll take the legs in kind of the opposite position. So you lay down. Now gather whatever props you like to have for Shavasana, because this will just be really brief. Let the knees knock in and the feet go wide. And imagine the lower back and the sacrum just spreading across. I'm going to turn out that light, Tila, so you're not blinded. If that position doesn't feel good in the legs or the lower back, forget about it. Or take something else. Maybe a nice twist would be good. Sorry, dealing with the technology here. And then before we head into good old-fashioned Shavasana, bring yourself into this, so the feet will come back hips width distance, knees are hips width distance. Hands will press on the thighs and just press straight ahead, hands into the legs. Think of decompressing right in the hip socket and the lower back. And then stay here, but release the pressure. And go one more time, just press straight ahead, hands into the legs. Excellent work. Shavasana, our final resting pose. So you can be any way that you're comfortable. I'm gonna stay sitting, but most of you will probably like some version of laying down. Take any props that seem like a good idea. And ask your whole body to rest. Allow the work to be done. Let the mental work as well as the physical work be done. Can you relax your face, your forehead, your eyebrows, and the space in between your eyebrows? Let all of that go. Relax through your jaw and your tongue. And let all of that go. Relax all of the muscles that run along your spine. Imagine the back of your body widening. Bring a little deeper, fuller breath back in. Allow a little bit of movement back in. Whenever you're ready, bend the knees, roll over to one side. And from your side, take your time to come upright, just sitting in a seated position. We'll take hands to heart center. In honor of you, namaste.